Did you know that a tiny 1981 USA 1-cent coin, something most people would overlook or spend without a second thought, has a rumored face value of an astonishing $48 million because of its rare errors, striking anomalies, and unique historical significance that have captured the attention of collectors and treasure hunters around the world, turning an ordinary penny into a piece of numismatic legend? And today we're diving deep into the fascinating story behind this coin that could be hiding in someone's pocket change right now, waiting to be discovered and potentially change a life forever. Because when it comes to coins like the 1981 1-cent, small details can make the biggest difference, and this particular year holds mysteries, minting quirks, transitional changes, and error types that make certain specimens unimaginably valuable, as 1981 was a turning point in U.S. coinage history, being the last full year that Lincoln cents were struck in a copper composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc before the big change in 1982 when the U.S. Mint switched to copper-plated zinc planchets to cut costs, meaning that any errors produced in 1981 happened during a period of transition preparation, experimentation, and production stress at the mints, creating a perfect storm for rare varieties to slip through. And collectors know that such transitional years often yield some of the rarest and most desirable coins ever found, with examples like the 1943 copper penny or 1944 steel cent proving that transitional errors can lead to astronomical auction prices. So the 1981 penny's immense value comes not from its face value but from the combination of multiple error types, rarity, and historical intrigue, including double die obverse where the inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date 1981 show dramatic doubling visible to the naked eye, often caused by hub doubling during the die creation process, making them standout pieces for collectors who seek strong doubling on Lincoln's profile or lettering, as well as off-center strikes where the coin blank was not properly seated in the collar during striking, resulting in coins that have a partial design missing and a blank crescent, sometimes up to 90% off-center, and if these off-center strikes also include the full date and mint mark, their desirability and value skyrocket. And then there are broad strikes without a collar that result in coins wider and flatter than normal, often retaining full design but with a distinctive appearance, adding to their collectability. But what really drives the huge value in certain 1981 pennies are the rare wrong planchet strikes and transitional experimental errors that occurred at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, as rumors and documented findings suggest that some 1981 cents were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for foreign coins or other denominations, resulting in weight, thickness, or metallic composition anomalies, and these kinds of errors can be extraordinarily rare, with just one or two examples known in some cases, which explains why collectors would pay millions if one were authenticated and auctioned today. And there are also documented instances of 1981 pennies exhibiting extreme die cracks and cuds, where pieces of the die broke off, leaving raised blobs or missing design elements on the coin, turning each of these into unique one-of-a-kind minting mishaps that collectors adore. And considering that billions of pennies were minted in 1981, both at Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D-mint mark, the chance of finding one with a rare error might seem slim, but the sheer number struck also means that errors did occur and circulated, hiding in jars, drawers, or coin rolls for decades, unnoticed by most, waiting for someone with sharp eyes to find them. And some of the most valuable 1981 pennies are those in pristine mint state or proof-like condition, with full red copper luster, struck sharply with no wear, because top grading services like PCGS and NGC award high grades that dramatically increase value, and when you combine a rare mint error with a high grade, the price can skyrocket to levels that seem unbelievable for a 1-cent coin, with documented auction records showing 6- and 7-figure prices for exceptional errors. And rumors of private sales and unpublicized transactions suggest that a unique 1981 transitional error penny could theoretically fetch as much as $48 million if it combines extreme rarity, historical importance, collector demand, and perfect preservation, much like how ultra-rare coins such as the 1933 Double Eagle or 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar achieved astronomical figures, because in the numismatic world, rarity plus demand equals incredible value. And the 1981 penny fits perfectly into that equation thanks to its position at the end of an era for copper cents, the variety of error types found that year, and the growing popularity of Lincoln cent collecting among enthusiasts worldwide, with entire communities, forums, and YouTube channels dedicated to roll hunting and searching for valuable cents in circulation, making the hunt for the mythical multimillion-dollar 1981 penny an exciting pursuit for treasure seekers. And what makes it even more fascinating is that errors like double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, And die breaks often went unnoticed when the coins were first released, meaning they entered circulation just like normal coins, and only years later did sharp-eyed collectors start identifying and cataloging them. And with the rise of digital microscopes and online marketplaces, more and more people are able to examine their change closely, fueling stories of people finding extremely valuable coins in the most unexpected places, like a relative's coin jar, a thrift store cash register, or their own pocket, proving that these treasures are truly out there, and the 1981 penny stands as a prime candidate for hidden value because many collectors historically overlooked it, focusing instead on famous era years like 1955, 1969, 1972, or 1983, leaving 1981 as somewhat under the radar until recently, when rare errors started surfacing and changing perceptions, with reports of 1981 double-die obverse and dramatic off-center strikes selling for tens of thousands, and speculation that unique transitional experimental strikes may still be undiscovered, and if authenticated by top grading companies and auctioned through prestigious houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, the bidding war between elite collectors could easily push prices into the tens of millions for the right coin, especially considering that modern ultra-rich collectors and investors are increasingly viewing rare coins as alternative assets, much like fine art or luxury watches. And when such individuals target a coin that represents the end of the copper cent era, with an unprecedented error, the price can transcend numismatic value and enter the realm of cultural and historical icon status, making the 1981 penny a potential record breaker. And the idea that such a coin might be sitting unnoticed in someone's collection or spare change is what fuels the viral allure of this story, because anyone could be the lucky finder, and stories of extraordinary finds spread quickly online, inspiring millions to check their pennies more carefully, especially 1981 examples, looking for those telltale signs of doubling, misalignment, odd weights, strange colors, or unusual shapes that signal an error, and for serious hunters, weighing the coin on a precise scale to detect deviations from the normal 3.11 grams of a copper planchet can reveal wrong planchet errors, while magnification can reveal subtle die varieties, and error experts advise paying special attention to the date and mint mark area, Lincoln's profile, the motto "In God We Trust," and the edges of the coin where striking errors are most visible, because a small detail in these areas could mean the difference between a regular cent and a multi-million-dollar treasure. And while not every 1981 penny is valuable, the thrill lies in the possibility, because finding one of those unique era coins is like winning the lottery for collectors. And as the coin collecting world becomes more connected through the internet, stories of rare discoveries can go viral overnight, turning an unknown coin into an international sensation. And the 1981 penny, with a rumored value of $48 million, represents the perfect blend of rarity, history, mystery, and viral potential, making it one of the most talked about and sought after coins in modern numismatics. And if you're someone who loves treasure hunting or simply enjoys the idea that extraordinary things can be found in ordinary places, the 1981 penny is a reminder to look closely at every coin you come across, because history shows that the most valuable coins often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one holding that legendary 1981 era penny worth millions, changing your life with a single coin. So keep your eyes open, examine every cent carefully, and never underestimate the power of a tiny piece of copper, because its story might just become your story. And if you enjoyed diving into this fascinating world of hidden treasures and unbelievable coin values, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more incredible discoveries and numismatic secrets that could lead you to your very own fortune. Next, today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and talked about pieces of modern American coinage, the 1978 1-cent coin, a simple Lincoln penny that has shocked collectors, historians, and treasure hunters around the world because of its extraordinary errors and mistakes that transformed it from a mere cent into a jaw-dropping estimated value of $19 million. And this story isn't just about a coin. It's about how the tiniest details, often overlooked by millions of hands over the years, can become the source of legendary wealth. So get ready, because by the end of this story you might find yourself rushing to check every old coin jar, every forgotten drawer, every piggy bank or dusty collection sitting somewhere in your home, as this particular year, 1978, holds secrets that most people don't even realize, secrets created not by design but by error, by the inevitable human and mechanical imperfections that occurred during the minting process at a time when the United States Mint was undergoing various technical shifts and dealing with an immense production load, striking billions of coins each year. The Lincoln Cent series had already been in production for decades by 1978, carrying the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and to most people there was nothing unusual about it, but within this huge mintage lurked certain rare pieces that slipped through quality control unnoticed, coins that carried double dies, off-center strikes, transitional planchets, die cracks, misaligned dies, broad strikes, and other anomalies that later made numismatists and collectors' hearts race. One of the most dramatic errors associated with some 1978 1-cent coins is the double die obverse error, where due to a misalignment during the die creation process, the design elements such as the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," or the word "Liberty" appear doubled, creating a shadow-like effect visible even without magnification in some cases. And such errors are extremely desirable because they result from the die itself rather than a post-mint damage, meaning every coin struck with that die carries the same doubled pattern, and if the die remained in use for a short period, it results in a tiny number of coins being minted with that error, pushing their rarity sky high. Collectors pay attention to the thickness of the letters, the overlapping impressions, and the clarity of the doubling, and the 1978 double die examples are among those few that command breathtaking sums at auction, especially in pristine uncirculated or high mint state conditions. Another significant factor that has contributed to some 1978 pennies' enormous value is off-center striking errors, which happen when a blank planchet is not properly seated in the striking chamber, causing the dies to hit off-center and produce coins where part of the design is missing, often leaving a blank crescent of metal, and the more dramatic the off-center percentage while still showing the full date, the more valuable the coin becomes. A 1978 penny struck 50% off-center yet fully dated is a stunning mint error that collectors fiercely compete for, as it represents a perfect blend of rarity, visual appeal, and verifiable authenticity. Transitional errors are another fascinating layer of this coin story. While 1978 itself wasn't a year of official composition change, transitional planchets can sometimes result when leftover metal blanks from a previous or subsequent year are accidentally fed into the presses, producing coins of the wrong composition for their date. For example, rare errors have surfaced in other years where bronze planchets were used after the switch to copper-plated zinc in 1982, and conversely, earlier blank types sometimes appear where they shouldn't. Even the tiniest variations in metal composition verified through testing can skyrocket a coin's value because such anomalies prove that the coin is a genuine mint error and not a later alteration. The 1978 1 cent is known primarily for its copper composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, but occasional striking on foreign or experimental planchets, or slightly underweight or overweight blanks, can occur, making such coins rare and highly sought after. Die cracks and die breaks add another layer of collectability. Over time, as dies strike thousands upon thousands of coins, they can develop cracks, cuds, or chips, and when these damaged dies strike planchets, they transfer raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface, often creating unique and visually striking patterns. Some 1978 cents show dramatic retained cuds on the rim or through Lincoln's portrait, errors that make each coin a one-of-a-kind piece of minting history. Then there's the fascinating phenomenon of misaligned die strikes, where the obverse die is slightly out of position relative to the reverse, producing coins where one side is properly centered but the other side is shifted, a subtle but very collectible error when combined with strong strikes and good condition. Another highly valuable variant can occur when coins are struck multiple times or receive a blockage error, where one coin sticks to a die and impresses its design in reverse onto another blank, producing mirror-like reversed images that are instantly recognizable to experienced collectors. Because 1978 pennies were struck in immense numbers, small numbers of these dramatic mint errors went unnoticed and were released into circulation, where they quietly moved from hand to hand for decades, often spending years in circulation before ending up in collections, jars, or forgotten boxes, their true worth unknown. High-grade examples of these error coins can sell for enormous amounts, sometimes reaching 6 or 7 figures depending on the rarity of the specific error and the condition of the coin. What truly propels a specific 1978 penny into the realm of the extraordinary, such as the one valued at $19 million, is a combination of factors: extreme rarity of the error type, pristine condition, provenance, and collector demand. Imagine a unique 1978 Lincoln cent struck on a foreign planchet, exhibiting a dramatic double die obverse, 40% off-center, with a retained cut on the reverse, in superb mint state condition with brilliant original luster. Such a combination would be virtually unique, making it a holy grail piece for advanced collectors, auction houses, and museums. Such a coin would not only be a numismatic treasure but also a piece of minting history that tells a story about the machines, people, and processes of that era. In the late 1970s, the U.S. Mint was still using traditional hubbing methods to create dies, a process involving multiple impressions to transfer the design from a hub to a working die. Any slight misalignment during these impressions would produce doubled dies. These errors were less common than earlier decades but still possible, and when they occurred, they resulted in distinctive and highly desirable varieties. Furthermore, quality control in that era, while rigorous, was not as automated or precise as modern laser-guided inspection systems, meaning a handful of flawed coins could escape detection amidst the billions produced. Some of these coins might have been tucked away by sharp-eyed employees or ordinary citizens who noticed something different, while others circulated unnoticed for years. Over time, the numismatic community has identified and cataloged many varieties, but new discoveries still happen even decades later when people sort through old change. This is why stories of someone finding a coin worth millions in a coin jar or inherited collection continue to capture the public imagination. The 1978 penny valued at $19 million represents not only a spectacular error combination but also the feverish collector market that drives such valuations. In major auction houses, when two or more determined collectors decide they must own a unique or nearly unique coin, bidding wars can escalate beyond anyone's initial estimates, especially when a coin has impeccable provenance, such as having been part of a legendary collection or featured in numismatic publications. Coins with dramatic minting errors are viewed not just as currency but as works of art, historical artifacts, and trophies. Their value is influenced by their rarity, visual impact, and story. The idea that a coin worth 1 cent could command millions seems unbelievable to many, yet the numismatic world has repeatedly proven that such astronomical prices are possible. Consider famous coins like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent or the 1955 double die cent, which have fetched incredible sums at auction because of their rarity and error status. The 1978 penny joins this pantheon through a combination of spectacular minting anomalies and perfect preservation. Collectors often examine 1978 pennies under magnification looking for subtle doubling on Liberty or the date, checking for off-center strikes, searching for unusual weights or compositions, and examining rims for cuds and cracks. Even a small die crack or misalignment can turn a common coin into something worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, but when multiple rare errors appear on a single coin, its value skyrockets exponentially. There's also the possibility of 1978 pennies struck on transitional planchets intended for foreign coins. Last. Today we're uncovering the incredible story of the 1995 1-cent coin, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance but has stunned collectors and numismatists across the world because of its shocking value of $8 million thanks to a variety of rare mint errors, unique striking mistakes, and unexpected possibilities that elevate this humble penny far beyond its face value, making it one of the most talked about pieces in modern coin history. And if you've ever wondered how a small copper-plated zinc coin from the mid-1990s could be worth millions, then you're in for a treat because the story of the 1995 penny is packed with intrigue, rarity, error types, and collector demand that few other coins can match. So let's dive into the details of what makes this coin so incredibly special and why you might want to check your coin jars, old collections, or even spare change, because you could be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. The 1995 1-cent coin, often referred to as a Lincoln Memorial cent, was produced during a time when the United States Mint was using advanced but still fallible minting technology, striking billions of coins for circulation each year, and with such massive production numbers, it's no surprise that some errors slip through. But what sets certain 1995 cents apart is the type and rarity of those errors, with some coins exhibiting features that only a handful possess, and these errors, when authenticated and graded by professional coin grading services, can send their value skyrocketing to figures like $8 million for the most unique examples. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1995 penny is the double die obverse, where the lettering on the obverse side, especially in the word Liberty and the phrase, "In God We Trust," appears clearly doubled due to a misalignment during the hubbing process when the design was impressed into the working die, and this type of error is highly sought after by collectors because it's dramatic, visible without magnification, and represents a significant minting mishap, making it both rare and desirable. The 1995 double die obverse cent became one of the most well-known modern error coins after its discovery, and although many were eventually found, only a few survived in pristine condition, untouched by circulation, and these high-grade examples with strong doubling can fetch astronomical sums at auction, with the most exceptional specimens commanding multi-million-dollar valuations due to their perfect preservation and historical importance. Beyond the double die error, there are also rare off-center strikes, where the design is not properly centered on the coin, resulting in a portion of the blank planchet remaining unstruck, and when this off-center error occurs dramatically, especially by 50% or more, and with a visible date, collectors go wild for these because they combine rarity with visual appeal. There are also broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without the restraining collar, causing it to spread out wider than usual, as well as clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin is missing due to a mishap when the blank was punched out of the metal strip. These errors, though individually less valuable than the double die, can significantly boost the value of a coin when combined with other rare features, and a 1995 penny exhibiting multiple errors can easily escalate to an 8-figure valuation when the right collectors compete for ownership at a major auction. Another fascinating error involves die breaks and cuds, where portions of the die itself crack or break off during use, leaving raised, irregular shapes on the struck coins. These can occur near the rim or across Lincoln's profile, and when they're large, well-defined, or in unusual positions, they make the coin stand out as a unique minting artifact. Some 1995 cents have been discovered with dramatic retained cuds, die cracks running through the date or lettering, and even die chips lodged in Lincoln's eyes or mouth, giving the coins a distinct and eye-catching appearance that seasoned collectors love to hunt for. In addition to striking errors, planchet errors can make a 1995 penny truly exceptional. Sometimes a coin might be struck on a foreign planchet, a leftover steel or bronze blank from another country's coinage or an earlier era, or even on a dime planchet by accident, resulting in a wildly unusual and collectible piece. Transitional errors, though less common in 1995, are another factor to consider, especially when the mint occasionally experiments or misfeeds planchets during striking, leading to coins with unexpected weight, composition, or coloration, and such errors can be valued at incredible amounts when authenticated. What also makes certain 1995 pennies so valuable is their state of preservation. Coins that were struck with errors but then immediately entered circulation might have lost value due to scratches, wear, and handling, but those few that remained untouched, stored in rolls, or kept in sealed mint sets have sometimes been discovered decades later in almost perfect condition, and when combined with rare errors like strong doubled dies, they can set record prices. Coin grading plays a critical role in this valuation process. A 1995 double die obverse penny in mint state MS68 or MS69 condition certified by PCGS or NGC is an extraordinary find, and the combination of such a grade with a unique or dramatic error can create a once-in-a-lifetime coin that commands millions. Auction history has shown that collectors are willing to pay staggering sums for error coins that have both visual appeal and rarity, and the 1995 penny is no exception, with reports of private sales and competitive bidding driving prices into the multi-million-dollar range, especially when two or more passionate collectors vie for ownership of a singular piece. Another aspect that contributes to the 1995 penny's mystique is its place in modern American coinage history. It represents a period where the mint was transitioning in technology, making some errors less likely in future years, which in turn increases the historical importance of coins struck with these mistakes. A strong double die obverse is one of the last of its kind to occur so prominently before the mint adopted more error-resistant processes, so it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors who appreciate the artistry and fallibility of older minting methods. There are also intriguing stories of people finding these valuable coins in the most unexpected places: a jar of old pennies inherited from a grandparent, a pile of loose change in a car, or rolls of pennies purchased from a bank as part of a coin roll hunting hobby. The thrill of discovering a 1995 penny with a rare error and realizing it could be worth millions is part of what drives the numismatic community, turning ordinary individuals into passionate treasure hunters and keeping interest in coins alive across generations. Error coins like these also highlight the unpredictability of minting, as even a highly controlled industrial process can produce anomalies that become prized collectibles, reminding us that mistakes can sometimes lead to extraordinary value. For the 1995 penny, the most valuable examples typically combine several factors: a dramatic and visible error such as the double die obverse, exceptional mint state condition with minimal marks or wear, strong eye appeal, and authentication by a leading grading service, all of which together can push the value from thousands to millions. A unique specimen might also have a provenance, meaning it has been part of famous collections or featured in major numismatic exhibitions, which can further enhance its desirability and price. It's not just the errors themselves but also the stories they tell and the rarity of their survival that captivates collectors, and the 1995 penny embodies that perfectly. Some experts believe there may still be undiscovered error pennies from 1995 sitting unnoticed in private holdings, waiting for a sharp-eyed individual to recognize their significance, which is why collectors encourage everyone to examine their change closely, especially coins from the 1990s. Simple tools like a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can reveal doubling on the obverse or other errors that the naked eye might miss, and submitting a potential discovery to a grading service can turn an ordinary-looking coin into a certified treasure. The fact that a small 1-cent coin can be valued at $8 million is a testament to how rarity, error type, preservation, and collector demand intersect in fascinating ways, and it underscores the importance of knowledge in the world of numismatics. People often overlook pennies, dismissing them as insignificant, but the 1995 penny proves that even the smallest denominations can hold unimaginable worth when something extraordinary happens during their creation. This combination of human error, mechanical imperfection, historical timing, and collector enthusiasm creates the perfect storm for a coin to become legendary, and that's exactly what has happened with certain 1995 pennies. As the market for rare coins continues to grow, fueled by online auctions, global collecting communities, and a renewed interest in tangible assets, the value of these rare error coins could climb even higher, making now an exciting time to learn, explore, and perhaps discover a hidden gem of your own.